No, there's less to discuss. Trust. It's happening tonight. R8R BEAR. Family page. No, featuring my boy, Ranger Raider Rhino. And when you don't know how to apologize, get a shirt that does it for you. Me, meow. What? R8RBEAR! Interrupt my jam. What the heck? Let's go. Sup, fam? Welcome to the show. Always there for your host, R8R BEAR. R8R BEAR Live. Gotta do this. Got much to discuss. I know you guys got questions. Gotta talk about stuff. We're gonna do it right now. Well, in a moment, but almost right now. Then imitated, never duplicated. Nah, that fool with no hair, that shouts like Ric Flair. Woo! The R8RBEAR! R8RBEAR! Alright! For crying out loud! Nope. See now I'm not gonna do it anymore. I do not own the rights to this song, but I own the rights to every person who tunes in and their soul as R8R Nation members. That's right. I'm never gonna die. When I do die, I'm just gonna go to heaven, woo, and start a chapter with Jesus. R8RBEAR! I can't wait to meet Al Davis. That's the only reason I'm jealous of my dad, because he beat me to heaven. True story. Well, I'm not gonna just cry all the time. The guy was tough, okay? He deserved his son to act like a man. No, I cried like a baby. I won't lie. Hush! Now I don't even have to get real fancy with Lexi and all that. Yeah, boo-boo. Wait, what? Tradish! R8RBEAR Live! First comment, woo, MVP tonight goes to Carlos Megana! Carlos, stop it. What? Carlos, what are you doing here? Okay, you know better than this. Don't mess with my metal round like this. I get confused and it's annoying. Okay, hold on. I'm getting stuff on my R8R BEAR bat phone. I know that sounds so old, but I went with it anyway. Getting another. I have these like search feelers, like AI kind of stuff that finds R8R stuff and sends it back to me. But it sends me too much stuff because it takes like everything. So every rumor, every funny story, everything that could be or might be speculated about, if it says the word Raiders in it, the engine grabs it and spits it at me. And so it's kind of annoying because you got to go through all of it. But, I mean, I don't have to go through all of it. I do it for all of you. From the heart. R8R BEAR family page. Tradish! R8R BEAR Live. First comment. Blah, 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 blah. Carlos Megana. Carlos, what are you doing in the gold round, man? What's up with that? I like him. Opinionated, and I like opinionated people. Second place, silver medal, John the Lion. Leon, always catching L's, but never taking losses. John the Lion, Leon. That's one of the oldest names like in existence. Okay, check it out. It's cool. His family lineage goes way back. Third Third place, my bronze medal goes to that Moji making son of a gun, 2-time champion, woo, Mark Vargas. Down in the bronze round, slumming it tonight. Caught him slipping. My guy, Carlos Magada and John Leon caught the champ slipping tonight. Honorable mention to James and Princetta Walker. What's up, guys? Family in the house. And Carlos, what's up, man? Good to see you there. All right. Facebook. Number one, numero uno, el jefe. Let me say it again. Carlos Boykins. Woo, yeah. Everybody goes crazy like a prize fighter. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR Bear. Appreciate you checking in and winning that gold. Second place, silver medal, Tony, who make it dip. What are you doing, man? Silver medal, Tony, make it dip. What's up, man? Welcome to the show. Tony, honestly, you should seriously consider getting a t-shirt that just says make it. I just tell people that's my middle name. Wait, Tony make it dip? Ah, you got it. I swear on everything I hold dear, I would do that. I would. You only get one life, Tony. You gotta live it. Third place, my bronze medal goes to, last but not least, Mike Brown. What's up, Mr. B? Welcome to the show. Always there for R8RBEAR Bear. And he has been there for R8RBEAR Bear of late. I like that. Good to see you, Mike Brown. And to everyone tuning in, including Mike Brown, I have postal stuff going out very soon. I give you all my apologies. You guys know why I'm late on my stuff when I mail things, but I'll just explain again. You guys, I'm working with charities, and I do it, and then I got to get through the job, and then I got to get through my daughter's job, because I got to drive her everywhere, and then I got to get through Mama Bear's job, and so it's just hard to get to the post office, so I apologize. Woo! And it's not near me. I have to really drive out to go to it. Because I live in the rich boondocks. And that sucks. You'd think people that live in a, like, glitzy, gated in kind of community kind of area. Woo! I'm excited. I've never lived this way. I'm being honest with you. It's weird. Being around people that expect everything to be perfect is so annoying. I was in a group of people, they were all bitching about a homeless guy at the park, and I had no idea. So when the subject came up, I immediately went to, yeah, it's pretty cool that the guy, the first thing in the morning, can go to the park, he can go over to the barbecue pits, light a little fire, cook some food, just get warm, whatever the case may be. And everyone around the circle went, and looked at me like I was crazy, like, don't you hate when they do that? No, I don't generally start with hate with homeless. Bad combo. Anyway, nice talking to you. I wasn't afraid of the conversation. It seemed like they were, so I wanted to get out of there. So what's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. So where'd my handy dandy note card go? Okay, here we go. So we got to talk about Jalen Milroe a little bit of Jalen Milroe news. We're going to talk about how's the Tom Brady time going for you? And, the way it looks to me, we were in on the Ben Johnson thing. Tom Brady was supposed to be the closer. Didn't get the guy. Then it was supposed to be a big deal about, who was going to get this quarterback. Now it's looking like, nope, he's not going to go out in free agency. He's going to stay with the Rams. So we couldn't give Matthew Stafford enough to entice him to come to the Raiders. I was hearing reports too, and then I saw an ad about it, or not an ad, but an article about it today that Cooper Kupp was going to be rumored to be in the deal. So Cooper Kupp was waiting to see where Matthew Stafford was going to go, and then he was just going to try to follow him there and take whatever contract. And obviously he'd still command respect because he was a great wide receiver, but he also starting to look a little bit injury prone. He's a little bit older than he's ever been, So it would have been a deal, but it probably wouldn't have been a good one, so they both passed. Okay, number 3, Shedeur Sanders and his combine interview, what people are saying about it. We'll talk about that in a minute. He also talked about having spoke to the Raiders. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Michael Mayer news. Michael Mayer seems to be getting shopped, so to speak, to the rest of the league as a potential, piece to get trade, position, or, give up, get trade position, etc. Number 5, Drew Lock. He played for Pete Carroll back in the day, and could he bring that chemistry to the Raiders that he had with him in Seattle? Because he was good, and him and Geno Smith kind of went back and forth there for a while. But Pete Carroll eventually sat down on Geno Smith, but he always said it wasn't because Drew Lock wasn't good. It was just that he felt like Geno brought a little bit more to the position at the time. So that's how it went down. So I don't feel like that's a bad. I don't feel like that's a bad look on either guy. Okay, and then the reuniting of Khalil Mack with the Raiders, is that a real thing? Yes or no? We'll talk about that in a second. The Champ Kelly situation, how's that going to work? Oh no, that's not. That's old. That's another one with Champ Kelly. We already did the Champ Kelly stuff. Yeah, so we're talking about Khalil Mack, and then I was going to talk to you also about Chip Kelly, and the fact that we're talking so much about former wide receivers of his tells me that we might be at a point of desperation to get something done, so I'm concerned about that, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, now remember, stars contribute to the show, go directly to charities all over the world, and help us to fund this show to do great entertainment for you guys. So if you enjoy the entertainment, please give stars where you can and wherever you can, and we really, really appreciate it. And if you subscribe, we appreciate that all the more. It's only $5 a month, and you can cancel at any time. And on YouTube, I'm not even going into this with you guys over and over again with YouTube. I'm not doing it, okay? I need you to like and subscribe on YouTube so that I can get into the algorithm. And I'm not going to tell you how the percentage of how many people that still haven't done it. I'm not doing that. I see all those YouTubers doing that. I'm not doing that. All right. So about the Jalen Milroe thing, I think the reason why the Jalen Milroe thing is coming up is because I think the Raiders are considering that it might be smart to just go down all the way into round 2 and pick a quarterback that can play. Because Jackson Dart and all these other guys are rising up and down the board, and it's starting to give the picture that, hey, you know what? These guys are good, but are any of them great? Or did you give me a whole crop of 5 through 7s on a scale of 1 to 10? You got a bunch of 5s over here, a bunch of 7s over here. They've all got different skills and failures. Here you go, league. And we're supposed to pick from that, you know what I mean? And there's so many Raiders that have differing opinions on what's going on with Shedeur Sanders and so on and so forth. It's weird. What's up, guys? Welcome to the show. Corinna Trujillo always there for R8RBEAR. DPC. I still have my sword, but it's like I don't want to go get up and get it. It's over there, and I still have my axe here too. Well, I'll show him the axe for David Pelkaliva because he's Mount Rushmore around here. This one's gnarly, and as you can see, it's got a detachable piece, so you can put different heads on it, and it's got this little military rope. So when I put it on, you can't pull it out of my hands, and yeah, it's pretty awesome. Arnie Garza, what's up? Welcome to the show. Appreciate the salute. S.A. Big Dog, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Question Bear, why are we not signing more of our own free agents before free agent period starts? Arnie, I don't think that there are going to be a lot of free agents for us that need to sign. And more importantly, some of the guys that we need to sign, I know the Raiders have had conversations with them, basically saying to them, let us settle other business because we already know what we're going to do for you. You know what I mean? In other words, you have to remember, there's only a select few guys that really have, arguable control with their contract. For the most part, it says, do you want to give them an extra year for $17 million? You either say yes or you don't. You're not going to negotiate with everyone. One of the Butler defensive tackles we have, or, that kind of thing, you do it or you don't. He's interchangeable. You can let him go or you can keep him. For the most part, there will be guys we keep. But it ain't going to be everybody. We're gonna lose people that are going to surprise people. I don't think there's any doubt about it. There's going to be a couple guys that we probably just say good luck in free agency. Now, if they clear free agency, we can just get them off the waiver wire. Then you may see us do that. But there's going to be some guys we're just going to let them float away and see what's what. Rumors say Brady wants Rodgers, Wilson, or Fields. Who would you sign, Bear? Well, Arnie, at first I have a problem with the fact that Tom Brady is not being held to the fire over the fact that he couldn't get Matthew Stafford when Matthew Stafford was literally saying, someone come get me. And no one was willing to do what it took. Now, from what I understand, there was talk that we would have had to have given up our pick at number 6. That's too much. You know what I mean? Because I won't lie to you. If they asked for that, they probably wanted. You never just get one thing, especially for a quarterback. So they probably would have asked for our 1 and like next year's 3 or some ridiculous. Just no. It's Matthew Stafford. Okay, let's not get out of pocket just because he becomes a free agent. Suddenly we should turn into lapdogs and get all excited and give away anything. He's Matthew Stafford. Okay, calm down. We know who he is. You know what I mean? Do you think? Put foots in him. I'm saying it before I even do it. But if you think there's any chance that Derek Carr going to his next team is going to cause some excitement with someone, you might be mistaken. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show. My good friend Bob Stafford is on the show. Let me get this real quick. Bow. Bob, I appreciate you coming on and stuff. And he wants to talk with me about... Let me do that real quick here. Bow. There you go, Bob. Sorry, what I was talking to you about earlier about the show. You're welcome to click that and let me know if you want to or not. But I'll be able to go ahead and start talking about it and leave it at that. So Bob Stafford and I were talking about an offensive lineman that's going to be available. His name's Alex Cappa of the Bengals. And I love the idea of this pickup. He was interested in him. I'm interested in him. I was actually trying to refer, Bob, I don't know if you remember correctly, to him. I said Kappa, but I couldn't remember his first name, and so I felt bad, and it was just one of those times where I was bringing up someone I wanted to say, hey, I feel strongly about this guy, and then I didn't feel right trying to do that when I just could not remember his first name. So I had him confused with someone else. There was another Kappa, if I believe, that was playing for the Buccaneers, and I brought him up, and I was wrong, and so, because it wasn't the same guy. But this Alex Kappa that you're bringing up with the Bengals is the guy I like. It's a good fit. It gives us a little bit more insurance at right tackle. Remember, all last year, we were trying to solidify right tackle. Now, it feels like we've got something working there, but that doesn't mean it's going to hold. The rest of the league knows, if we keep saying, oh, yeah, we got to work out things at right tackle, well, guess where they're going to attack us all the time? Whenever they shift or motion or try to do something sneaky with a blitz, right over right tackle. Why would you go at Colton Miller? You know what I mean? He may be getting hurt now once in a while, but that's not going to affect whether he can pick up things like that. He can. You know what I mean? He's playing all pro. And so we get Colton Miller back. They're really going to go, and obviously we're going to have him back. He'll be healthy, ready for the season, and so we'll be good. Bear, your thoughts on Jackson Dart, top 15 pick or second rounder? Arnie Garza, listen, I'm going to say this. Everything you and I are discussing right now, though, technically is conjecture. Now, I want to make it clear. I'm not saying that to say it's irrelevant, our conversation or your question. It's not. It's very relevant. I only simply want to state that for us to say, could he be in the second round or could he be top 15, I think the answer is yes about a lot of these guys. About the whole top 10. Because remember, we forget that when these guys move on, some of them are going to move on to good careers. Some of them are going to move on to become starters. And then most of the rest of the crop is going to move on to nothing. They're going to be backups. They're going to get cycled throughout the league to different teams that are also going to figure out that they're backups. They're going to see the very problems that didn't allow for them to stick with other clubs, and then you're out of the league. And so it's all a crapshoot. It's all a crapshoot. We've seen guys that were picked in the 5th and 6th round go to the Hall of Fame. We've seen 4th rounders that are that are going to be Hall of Famers playing right now. Max Crosby. No, that's not quarterback, but you get what I'm saying. But yes, I'm sorry, I want to be definitive. Yes, Jackson Dart, to me, now, is starting to look like a top 15 pick. They could shock us because, remember, the NFL doesn't care what we think about it, or the scouts. They listen to all that stuff, but then they stand on business when it's time and that clock starts to tick down. Now, what do I mean by that? There's going to be someone that picks third or fourth, that some team's going to try to tease their way up to get someone. And maybe the New York Giants just go, no, we're going to sit right here, and we're going to take Jackson Dart and shake up the world and let Shedeur Sanders drop into the second round. Because that's what you're starting to hear more and more of. That Shedeur Sanders, because of his interview, because of some of the things he's done and said, and then his build and body type, there are those that feel like he's slim for a wide receiver. Let alone a quarterback that, has to carry the weight of the season on his back. And, figuratively and, honestly. And, for example, you look at a guy like Patrick Mahomes, doesn't have the best body. You know what I mean? Kind of a thick guy, dad bod. We all laugh at him because he looks terrible. He's got a terrible body. He's got little woman-man nipples. Yes, I have seen a picture with his shirt off. Don't ask me why. And yes, that made Mama Bear laugh in the other room. R8RBEAR! That was a double score on that joke. Now, getting back to the point, Jackson Dart could very well be a top 15 guy. I do not think he will fall to the second round, but I do think guys are going to fall to the second round. I think Cam Ward's going to get picked, and I think he's going to get picked first. And I think the hype around him is real. But after that, I'm concerned. Shedeur Sanders, to me, interviewed his way potentially into the second round. I feel like some of these other guys now that are going to get moved up probably shouldn't get moved up, but they're just going to get moved up because of the process of the hype and conversation. And now you're going to put inordinate, big words on the bear. Yeah. You're going to put inordinate amount of pressure, which is a big word for a lot, mates. Got British there. But it's going to put an incredible amount of pressure on some of these younger guys who they're going to know in their heart they're not necessarily an 8th overall pick or a 6th, 7th overall pick. Quinn Ewers, for example, has been floating right around 4th, 5th best quarterback for months now. Jalen Milroe, who we were going to discuss there for a brief moment there, but Jalen Milroe, from what I understand, is real quietly giving off Jalen Hurst vibes to the scouts who think he might be the next mature black quarterback that comes in, has his head on right, doesn't mind being coached, doesn't have to do all the bling bling, and I hang out with rappers. I want to win football games. You know what I mean? And so I want to see that. I think that would be really interesting. But this draft's going to be really interesting because those quarterbacks are going to move, and they're going to move better than people think. I really do. Multiple teams are interested in Michael Mayer, including the Chargers. John, great photo, man. I got to tell you, John, I think the Chargers are interested because they need weapons, and they're in a transition, and Mayer is at a perfect age right now because he's technically a veteran, but at an ultra right on the wire, still a young guy veteran. And so you bring him in now, you get his skill set, his ability to block, his positive attitude. You're getting a bad dude. I'll be honest with you. I can't quite figure out why he isn't working for us. Now, I do believe that the Bowers situation is why he's getting kind of, put on the bench, basically. But when we all thought the 2 tight end offense was going to show itself and really attack, it never really did. We never really saw it. You saw it occasionally. They would run the 2 guys out into patterns, but they seemed to always go to Bowers. It seemed like more like Myers was becoming more of a decoy, and a guy that you could have out there that way because if he wasn't the decoy and you kept him back in the protection, he could hold up himself at the offensive line. He's a sturdy guy, and he blocked well in college, so he brought that skill with him to the pros. They just had to sharpen it, get him used to working with these offensive linemen. As soon as he got it, it was like having an extra offensive lineman when he was out there. Now, not on every play. Tight ends aren't going to lock up guys on every play, but he was nice. Excuse me. The only problem is Bowers does everything he does, everything better. Everything. He's a little bit more athletic. He's a little bit faster. He's got a little bit better hands. He's a little bit better blocker. I mean, I can go on. He's just better. And so I think he's outshining Mayer so much that they feel like, you know what? We don't need a 2 tight end offense. We can just have that second guy out there, make him someone that, has decent hands. So if he has to be a valve and you just throw a little 5-yard out to him, that's fine. That's like a run play. You get 5 yards. He just catches it, goes on the ground. And then you have Bowers on the other side who you attack with all the time. So I think that's what they saw. But here's the thing, though. Does that happen if Bowers isn't picked where he was picked? Or if we don't pick Bowers at all? No. We'd still have Mayer, and we'd still be mixing and matching pieces. Although I would argue that Anthony Bryant, the other tight end we have, is a free agent still on the roster, but he probably won't be much longer. But that guy, to me, could hold the house down. He is a very good tight end. I see you, Corinna. No problem, honey. Tony, make a dip? You should. You should, bro. Okay, Mark Vargas wants me to bring up Zach Zabronsky, 6'2", 205. I'm not 100% on him, Mark. I read the measurables. That's good. Not great. You'd want him around 215, 220, but that's nothing. Right when he joins the team and they put him on a regimen of eating like milkshakes and granola bars with protein and, he's training with the professionals, he could put on 15 pounds like that. So, especially at his age. What's up, Bill Cox? Welcome to the show, brother. Appreciate the love. What can we get for Michael Mayer, 4th rounder or 5th rounder? Artie, I would argue a 4th rounder just because he's pedigree. You're not sending them someone who does one thing. He can do anything you ask a tight end to do. Anything. He can run routes. He's got great hands. Don't forget, Mayer won that stat that they just started to record when he was still in college, but it was only like the 2nd or 3rd year that they'd been recording this stat, and it's called combat catches, and he was number 1 in all of college sports in combat catches. Now, the definition of combat catch just means that every time he would go up for a ball, there was always another defender right around his hands and his chest trying to get into his body. Not just a guy standing there. I'm talking about someone that jumps up with him and is really fighting with him for the ball. It's not just defense, and it's a very specific category, and he was the best. And the few catches he made in the NFL, generally, as a rule, he wasn't creating all that great separation, yet he was still getting catches because he's physical at the point of impact of the ball. I love Mayer. I hate that we're even doing this, but to me, you've got Bauer. He's an asset. You could take Mayer and just move him because he's an asset. And he gives you one more weapon, gives you one more player that could really help even things for us. All right, let me see this here. Bob, what's up, man? Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can see you now.
Nice. Well, I just want to tell everyone I've been doing this podcast now for 10 years. This is the very first time I've ever had someone on my show this way live. So, Tom, I couldn't have thought of Tom. What? Why does it say Tom? No, sorry. I'm looking at the next question on my thing as I was talking to you, and I kept seeing Tom. Bob, I got to tell you, though, I really appreciate you, Bob, because you've been with me since day one. I wanted to have you on first, so it goes down in history. My guy, Bob, and I wanted to say first, you're a baseball player stealing son of a gun, and I hate you and that side of you because you love the Angels or the Atlanta Braves, and they suck, even though they win championships, have great pitching, awesome players, and they're incredible. No, don't taunt me right now. I do not need to be taunted right now. So what's up, man? You got to tell me what was it about Alex Kappa that you really think could help us?
He came from Humboldt State University in Eureka, Arcata. He was an all-pro, All-American at Humboldt State. Now it's Cal Poly, but yeah, when he got drafted to the Buccaneers, he was a guard for Tom Brady, and
right.
He blocked for Tom Brady, and kept him
So I
clean.
was right about that. I said he was with the Bucks, and then I think someone corrected me, and so I just kind of accepted it. But I think I was right when they were telling me I was wrong, and I was telling them that I was right and they were wrong. Sorry, okay, go ahead.
Oh no! So now, because Brady knows who he is, so hopefully the organization will be like, "Hey, let's see here. This guy is available. Maybe
Right.
he could play. Next to JPJ or somebody."
Well, yeah, but Tom Brady, much like how your Atlanta Braves start seasons, is 0-2 right now. And so I'm not too confident about Tommy Boy getting his head out of his and getting us somewhere because so far he's strike one, strike two. And if we're talking about baseball, one more time, and that's out of there. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna. Any opportunity I get to put mud on the face of Tom Bartholomew Brady, I'm doing it every single time, all day, twice on Thursdays.
Yeah.
Okay, so I like Kappa, but what are we going to do with the quarterback situation? Now, I know I updated already, but let me say it real quick. Matthew Stafford's out. He ended up being like leverage, and we ended up being like leverage trying to help him get his deal back with the Rams because I think he was flirting with us. But again, Tom Brady could not get him to leave, so he's going back. So we're back at square one, and now you're hearing more about Russell Wilson and Justin Fields because here's a ball check for you. Ready? I'm already hearing that the Sam Darnold thing is a no-go. They're already saying they don't like Sam Darnold in any way. They don't want to give him a 4-year deal or a 3-year deal with a maybe year or anything like that. They don't think he's legit. What do you think?
Yeah, like Sam Darnold. The only reason why he did so good is because he had all these great weapons around him. He had two solid, good wide receivers, a good tight end, a good running game, good offense.
Well, that sounds like a good reason to give him the job.
Yeah, but we need to actually. We don't have a true number one receiver. We need another running back. We need some actual. We don't even have a quarterback right now. So.
Okay, so let me ask you this: Do you feel comfortable with Sam Darnold, or do you agree with them that a Sam Darnold move probably doesn't work here?
I like Sam Darnold, but I don't think it would work out.
Come on, be definitive. You're not feeling him. It sounds like you're not feeling him.
Nah.
Not feeling him?
I'd take Russell Wilson.
Okay. I kind of like that only because even if people think he's washed up, I feel like Pete Carroll knows exactly what he is. He's that old car that Pete Carroll just got done racing around for a couple years. So if anyone knows how to get that old car to run hard again, it's Pete Carroll. So why would anyone think that the Russell Wilson thing wouldn't work here? And I want to not be a hypocrite. I want to add something. If Russell Wilson suddenly said, hey, you know what? I'm going to Miami, I would say, oh, that's not going to work. It bust. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the pieces that he would need to let him really just roll right, roll left, sit down with enough protection that he can throw the ball wherever. I think the Raiders want to play that way, and I think that he would fit, especially with his former coach. The only thing I'm hearing is that he doesn't like Pete Carroll, that he actually tried to get Pete Carroll fired that last season before he got out of Seattle. Pete Carroll don't care.
Yeah, wow.
All right, Jalen Milroe, quarterback, going to be available. Roll Tide. Jalen Milroe, yes, no, 10 seconds, go.
I saw some of his NFL Combine throws. He looked pretty good. He's big, strong. Looked like pretty accurate on the deep passes. If he's available, I'd give him a shot.
Okay, now I got Tim Newport on here. Tim, congratulations on the babies. That's beautiful. Tim Newport, why would they trade Mayer? Why do you think they want to move on Mayer? I mean, why would we give up Mayer? He's a good tight end, right? But we've got Bowers now. I don't know if you do what we were thinking, Bob. Let me throw this at you real quick. Is it actually smarter? Just go ahead, because Chip Kelly is going to have the kind of offense that can move the ball around, twist guys left and right. They're not going to know which way we're going. We're going to motion a guy one way, go this way, then run the ball up the middle, crazy stuff. Do we still need a double tight end to do that when we're not going to play an old school offense?
No, we're not going to be a 2 tight end set offense. We're going to be hard-nosed offense, run the ball constantly, throw the ball deep, pass, short pass here and there, but we're not going to do no 2 tight end set, playbook. Now,
the only thing I'm seeing that I like, and I'm just going to say this out loud, the only thing I'm seeing that I like is that the Shedeur Sanders thing is going this and that and this and that. Okay, it's yes, no with the kid. But every time I hear no's about him, it doesn't have anything to do with football. They bring up his dad. They bring up his attitude. They bring up how he played in college. And you've heard me say 100 times, I don't care how he played in college. If he played well, obviously that's good. But if he played like Superman, I still don't care, because, and I know you remember this, we all saw Vince Young come from Texas. He looked like the greatest college football player in history, and then he goes into the NFL and goes, what, I can't go to the strip club before practice? And then he's gone. And he looked like Superman. You know what I mean? And just out of here. Reggie Bush like he was in the Matrix. Everybody, he made them look like fools. Gets to the NFL, gets drilled one time. I mean, he got folded like lawn furniture at Walmart. Just bam, right down to the ground. So, Shedeur Sanders, if we have a shot at him still, because I think he's going to be sitting there at 6. I think we're going to get him. I think if we want him, we can get him. But are we going to want him at 6? I think that everyone's trying to talk us out of that. Everyone's thinking we may even get him in the 2nd round, which I think is a total lie. I don't think the kid makes it out of the top 10. I don't think he makes it out of the top 10. No way. If he got past the Raiders from 7, 8, 9, 10, someone would trade up and go, holy crap, Shedeur Sanders is still on the board. I know they will, because no matter what you think about what comes out of his mouth or what he says or how flashy his daddy is, we all saw on tape what he can do with a football. And I don't understand why everyone suddenly thinks that everything they saw in college is exactly what's going to come up to the pros. Chip Kelly is going to have that guy throwing the ball in 3 seconds, like he did at Oregon, like he did at Ohio State. It's Chip Kelly. It's not like we don't know who he is. He's going to go 1, 2, 3, throw. 1, 2, 3, throw, or 1, 2, 3, get rid of it or run. That's it. Any mope can get that. Shedeur Sanders is not a mope. He's a number 1 ticket. What do you think?
Yeah. Just some NFL teams are going to know either Shedeur is the real thing or if he's not, just because the hype of Deion Sanders, and Deion Sanders always, teached him over his whole career. So,
no, it's okay. I can hear you. I'm just having you're like blinking in and out for me. It's on my end.
But just it's the whole ego of Deion Sanders, trying to, both of his Shiloh and Shedeur, I don't know how both those guys are gonna pan out in the NFL, just because of how you don't know how Deion Sanders actually, did that.
I don't know why we're talking about Deion Sanders at all. Bob, if I was going to hire you for a job, do you think I'd say, hey, listen, I need to meet your dad. Want to see what your dad's all about. I know your dad's pretty hot, I know he's all muscle bound and he used to film commercials, he was Hunter of the Year and just a badass, had tattoos, flexing, and then he spit out little Bob and said, go get it, Bob. Don't worry about it, man. My dad was bigger than me, too. I don't know. All right, so we got the Michael Mayer thing. We talked about Shedeur Sanders. I feel like Tom Brady's already a failure. What do you think about the whole thing with Drew Lock and Geno's? I'm hearing even Geno Smith and some of the other guys that were working with Pete Carroll, they're all kind of on the list here. And weren't you a Jackson Dart guy?
I like Jackson Dart, but I'm not like a big fan. But he looks really good.
Okay, 10 seconds. The clock is ticking down. Bob Stannard has to walk up his quarterback pick for the Raiders. 10 seconds. Oh, Cam Ward's the only guy off the board. Ready, go.
Probably Jackson Dart over Shadur Sanders.
That is ballsy. Are you trying to get fired? You might have just Nico Smithed yourself. Isn't that the guy's name with the Dallas Mavericks? That's like on witness protection now because he traded Fat Luka.
Oh yeah,
they just spread a rumor today that he weighed 270 pounds a month ago while he was still doing his rehab on his calf. If that's true, why are you telling us that? You know what I mean? If it was going to come out, let it come out, Mavericks. You look dirty.
Yeah, Luka's tearing it up right now for my Lakers.
He looks good right now. I got to be honest with you, and I don't want to be a hater. I'm just being honest. I just felt like him and Austin Reeves are the same thing. I feel like Austin Reeves is Luka in shape. And I mean that seriously. I think Austin Reeves gives you almost everything Luka Doncic gives you. He's just young, and you guys haven't had him long enough to realize it. But when you watch that kid play, he does stuff other kids don't do, other dudes don't do. That's just facts. And to me, you're not seeing the greatness yet. I already see it. If Austin Reeves gets at least another couple years with your Lakers and you guys don't make a mistake and let him go, that guy's going to be a bad man. I like him a lot.
Yeah, do you think next Thursday we try to sign DK Metcalf?
If DK Metcalf's there, I don't see why you wouldn't. You know, you don't hear any reports about him being a bad guy. Never got into it with his players, in the locker room. Never really got into it with Pete Carroll. And you've never heard Metcalf say anything bad about Seattle. So to me, Metcalf has handled his stuff like a pro. I can't tell you how many times, not just Raiders, but throughout the league, where a guy leaves a team and it's not 10 seconds he's gone. He's on a podcast or some radio station trashing the team he just left. When they gave you your opportunity, they're who made you rich. But the second you're out the door, you should say they're chumps or messed up or stabbed you in the back and all that nonsense. I like when a guy just goes. Just go. You know what I mean? Just keep your mouth shut. If you want to tell all that stuff later, write a book.
Yeah, I think our Raiders are hopefully going to do way smarter, and I think probably just go for players that are like fit the scheme and fit what we're doing, and not just like, ooh, look at that great player, let's fit him in our offense or defense, but he never ran this offense or that defense in his scheme, and figure out he won't pan out because he doesn't know what we're doing.
Yeah, and speaking of which, too, with the situation with Patrick Graham, a lot of people were surprised that they so quickly kept Patrick Graham on. The real reason why they kept our defensive coordinator is because his philosophy and the coaching scheme he works in, Pete Carroll's worked it within a lot and likes to run that same style of defense. So he just got lucky walking in the door. The guy who worked there as Pete Carroll gets hired, in effect, runs almost the exact same system he was running when they were running the Legion of Boom. So, he knows that Graham isn't the problem. It's not the defensive package. It's the players, and it's the combination of personnel you have on the field. Because sometimes it's not even the athletes not performing well enough. They're not performing well enough in what combinations. Does this safety trust this corner? Does this corner trust his linebacker that he's going to pick up the slant? Or does he feel like he has to go underneath and he gets burned over the top? You got to figure out those combinations. And I felt that's what Patrick Graham was struggling with the most. Not being a good defensive coach, just figuring out where to do what. Armando Guzman said he likes our coaching staff so far. I'd have to agree with that. I feel like there's a lot of familiarity. between them, so I think that's real good. Tanamoku said, yeah, I heard it was the compensation. Read that the Rams wanted first plus more. That's correct. Not for a year or two. Stephen Lee, correct. I agree. Jimmy Mata, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Troy Gill said, what happened with the Raiders and the new news about them? Sorry, might miss you and was walking around the block. Troy Gill, that's no problem. The real new news about what's going on with the Raiders is just the fact that we're still looking for a quarterback, even at just the basic levels, because it's not being said yet, but I don't think AOC is going to be on the roster at the start of the season. I feel like they want to use the fact that the kid is a young asset and still has a year and a half on his rookie deal, that some other team, if they got him now, they'd have a season and a half to find out if he's really the real deal. And you can let him go and still look at him on the cheap. Alex played with Tampa and then with the Bengals Bear. Thank you, Mark Vargas. Mark Vargas brought up Quinn Ewers. I love Quinn Ewers. I brought him up over and over and over again. Do you have any familiarity with him, Bob?
Quinn Ewers?
Yeah.
I just saw some highlights and stuff from Texas with his. He looks pretty good. Not great, but I think he's an okay quarterback.
All right, let me hit you with another one. Arnie Garza says, what do you think if the Titans take Sanders, if the Browns take Ward, and the Giants take Dart? Wow. Who do you draft if that happens? Bob, again, if Sanders goes to the Titans, if Ward goes to the Browns, and Dart goes to the Giants, now who do you got?
Either take...
Brilliant. That was really well said, Bob. I couldn't have said it better. All right, come on. Sanders is gone. Ward is gone. Dart is gone. Who are you going with?
Probably,
You can go into free agency, too. You don't have to just think about the draft.
Oh, okay.
You can go wherever you want.
I'd probably take Russell Wilson.
Now, see, I don't want to just agree with you because I think that's boring, so just hold your thought for 1 second and let me just say this. Don't you think, though, that the bridge that he had with Pete Carroll is burnt? And even though I personally think that if there was any combination that could get over it, it's this one. You know how it was when you were a little kid and you screwed up with your grandpa at his house because you scratched his car when you were throwing fireworks and playing with your friends right in front of it, brand new. I don't know how that scenario got brought into this, but yeah. But, Grandpa would always forgive you. Wouldn't Pete Carroll just forgive him and say, hey, man, it's about winning. Let's win. All right, yes, I did do that, okay? It was a bottle rocket. It hit my grandfather's red Mercedes, and it put the tiniest little nick, and he lost his mind. I mean, come on.
Yeah, if those quarterbacks are gone, get Genty. Genty.
I like that.
Get that guy, or get that Penn State defensive end.
Oh no, Abdul Carter's going to be gone. No way. Abdul Carter's being talked about as the number 1 overall pick now.
Oh.
Yeah, no way. He's too nice. There's even some analysts that are saying it's the Raiders that should put together a package to get from 6th to 1st and take Abdul Carter and have the best pass rush maybe in all the NFL. I mean, that would be wicked. I don't care what anyone says about quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, or whatever else. You bring in Abdul Carter with Max Crosby? Look, they'll have to pull them off of people. They would have to pull them off of people like bullies. It would be bad. There would be bloodshed. And we still got Christian Wilkins in the middle doing what he's doing. And John Jenkins with those two guys. That's barbecue chicken. That barbecue is over. It closes late. I mean, that changes everything. Your defense immediately becomes better. Your defensive backs immediately can address the ball faster. It doesn't allow wide receivers to get into their routes. I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. If they go defensive end, you remember the kid from the big guy from Michigan? Stop it. You get that guy, I'm all on board. Oh. And if any Raider starts whining about quarterback of the future and all that nonsense, I'm putting foots in them because they don't understand what we'd have. You know what I'm saying? I know you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know the Michigan defensive tackle's name, but I know Raging Raider Rhino would know his name.
Well, we got to be careful because my guy, Raging Raider Rhino, who might have the cutest female baby on earth right now, but you got to know he is a Michigan guy though. He's got a little bias there. If you ask me about Cal Bears and the California Bears and their players, I'm going to tell you there's a whole lot of guys with heart and spirit, and they're probably never going to make it to the pros. But But I'm a Cal Bear fan. I say that somewhat reluctantly because they haven't been good since they started collecting stats and the sun would rise and stuff like that. They've been bad about that long. So, but yeah,
I heard the Raiders might be interested in one of the Arizona Wildcats wide receivers, probably like maybe second or third round.
That makes sense. You got to get someone dynamic because whatever we do at quarterback, we're doing something at quarterback. So you have to get someone to replace what we lost in Henry Ruggs. We haven't really found that yet. We thought we were going to find it with that prima donna that's now with the Jets ruining his career. With that albatross, that vulture, Aaron Rodgers, who I simply cannot stand. I swear I would just spontaneously combust if I ran into him on the street. I would just be words would come out of me no one would be able to understand. I would just point at him. And he would be in pain from that. I would be that passionate about it. It would bother him. Okay, John Leon says we could get at least a third-round pick for Michael Mayer. I agree with that, but I don't think it'll be a third-round pick because I think you're thinking of his value when he came out of college, and it is worth a third-round pick, but now he's a pro with a little bit of wear and tear on him. And don't forget, he did have a leave of absence with us for personal reasons. We still don't really know what that was about. I heard it was something about his dad, but there's no one that really has a definitive word about what happened with Mayer. Did you hear anything about the Michael Mayer thing? When he left the team for a while?
Well, I heard like I didn't hear any like what happened. I didn't hear nothing about they didn't say any information of. They just said personal reasons. That's it.
Yeah, they kept saying that, but then when they were saying, you know how I am, Bob. You've watched my show plenty. When I heard about that, I always do two things. I try to find more than one other reporter or source or article that's saying the same thing. Or if I look at 3, 4, or 5 and I find one that has the reason for why he missed work, essentially, and they give a completely different reason that none of the other ones give, just this one guy is saying, oh, I heard or I know it's this. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. There was one guy that said it had something to do with something, but it wasn't his dad, and he wasn't sick. They kept saying that it was personal, but they never said family. So they started to think, well, is it a woman? Is something contentious happening? Like, is he getting sued? Because then you notice suddenly the year after he had to miss the team and miss practice and actually miss games because of personal stuff, the very next year, you're suddenly offering up in trade talks without trying to be secretive or anything. And no one does that. You never just take one of your best players and go, hey, anybody want him? Anybody? Mayor? Anyone? Mayor? And that's literally what they're doing. They literally just went, Mayor, anyone? Draft, Mayor? For the draft pieces, Mayor? No one does that. Tell me one other player in the league that's doing that right now, Bob. Tell me one other team or player in the league that's done that ever. It's not done.
Know.
Okay, it happens every once in a while, but it's just normally not done. You know what I mean? Oh, and by the way, I need one more witness. Was I or was I not the guy who said that John Harbaugh was going to come back, he was going to get the job with the Chargers, and then he was going to stink up the place so bad that they were going to back up one of those Brinks trucks with Febreze stuffed in it so that they can pump it in there for years because that bum, that overrated, stealing, cheating son of a monkey should have been banned from football long ago. I did say that. That guy's a bum. And next year is just going to be more proof of it. And by year 3, we're going to all be whispering, hey, is that guy lost his touch? Is he about to lose his job? Yes! Go ahead, tell me you love John Harbaugh. I bet you do. Go ahead, Bob. Do it!
Yes, I do appreciate John Harbaugh, but he hasn't won anything in the NFL. He went to the Super Bowl, yeah, but he didn't beat
You appreciate him? I was kidding, Bob. He's a bum, a liar, a leper, a lunatic, a loser. All of those things that go along with L's. Not like John, Leon. He's cool, but Harbaugh's a bum, and he ran away from Michigan at the end because he did some scandalous stuff to get players in there, and the moment he beat Ohio State and he got his opportunity to get back to the pros, suddenly he wants to be in the pros again. He's a jabroni, if I can borrow that one from The Rock, and I can. I hate that guy. And everything he did at the Niners made it look like he was a good coach. It was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. If they had had a decent coach, Colin Kaepernick would have a ring. Instead, he's just a political viewist with his afro and his stupid takes and his stupid girlfriend who has a stupid radio show, and that's the only reason why that bum started trying to act like he was an activist. And you notice suddenly, once he's lost his cause, he sits down and he shuts up. What's up, Bob?
What's up?
I can't help it. I like when I have you on. What can I say?
Oh yeah, I love talking Raiders and sports.
Right?
That's
and why shouldn't we go with Genty? I'm sure everyone that's watching the show now agrees with that.
Well, if Genty is available, if he wants to run the ball, he tore it up in Boise.
Right? I could see that. But I can't say. I think they are going to do the best player available on the board, but I think something's going to happen because it always does. Just every single draft, there's something that doesn't play to the script. You know what I'm saying? And I just think there's a chance that maybe 2 teams move up, and one of them wants Abdul Carter and the other one wants, Hunter, the amazing defensive back / wide receiver, who, by the way, I think is going to be a bust. All this Travis Hunter stuff for the Birds. I've seen how he's played. I've seen how athletic he is. I've seen how well-spoken he is. Every single thing about him says he should be a success, and I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't. I see it at college, but I don't see it at the pros. Guys are going to bait him into routes. They're going to step around him, and he's going to get burned. He's going to have to learn a lesson. You know who I'm seeing? And I'm going back a little bit, so I understand if you don't remember this name, but I also understand if you do, because it's not an old player. But D'Angelo Hall.
Oh, I remember him, yeah.
Yes. Okay, a lot of hype. And then when he got here, he was okay. And then as he got a little bit older, he got a little bit better because he started to learn a little bit more. And then he just kind of fizzled out. He was really never going to be, a great corner. He had a couple seasons, though, where he played well. I don't want to totally take it away from him. But they played a lot of hype on that guy, and then it did not work out with him at all. And I'm not saying that this is the same, because it's nothing like it's been for Travis Hunter. They have Travis Hunter light years ahead of him, I'm sure. But I just feel like we're going to see the same thing. You know what I mean? It's too hard to find the next Deion Sanders. That's what everyone wants. They want the next Charles Woodson, a guy who tells everybody, I'm going to come in and be the best, and then he was. You know what I mean? Deion did it with flash. Charles Woodson, to me, was more physical than almost everyone else. He could outrun a lot of guys, but he was also stronger than a lot of guys. He played like a safety, but could play corner like a corner. You know what I mean? That's why he was so amazing. He could just go back and forth. Corner safety didn't matter. If you needed him to ring someone's bell, he could. If you needed him to blanket a guy, he could. And if you needed him to come up and support the run, he could. I don't see that with Travis Hunter. I just don't. No, stop shit. Wait. No. Don't start that. Don't start that. See, I can hide yours with a shirt, buddy. Okay, you still got to go to work. Okay? Right here. Okay? No gloves. John Leon said, too many miles on Ginty. We can't go with him. What do you think?
Nah, we can still go with him. It's
think
fine.
So?
Yeah. Even though
I kind of like the kid too. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's fair to compare guys coming in to established pros, but the kid that just went to the Eagles and won his Super Bowl, the running back.
Oh,
Saquon Barkley. I feel some Saquon Barkley off that kid. Because he runs the same. He doesn't have a set style. When I watched him play and I watched his highlights, he doesn't always try to beat people to the corner like Reggie Bush and can only do that. He doesn't have to bang in the middle like Marshawn Lynch, because that's his best style. He can do both. He can beat you to the edge, but he doesn't mind running in the middle. I like the kid. I think no matter what, you bring in a guy, they're going to have a lot of mileage, But I think the success was what the mileage came from, and I think he's going to be a real star.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we get, that's why we have more than just one running back on a team. You give your number one running back, a lot of carries, sit him, a couple plays, bring him back in, just kind of, not just give him the ball 50,000 times, just like Josh Jacobs was for us.
Corinna Trujillo said, just bring back Marshawn Lynch and everything will be okay. Of course it would. I love you, girl. Bob, I appreciate you, man, coming on the show. This was fun. We'll do it again, all right?
Yeah, sounds good, brother.
Much love to you.
You too.
That's my guy right there. All right, that went well. We'll have to do that again. He's funny. He knows his stuff. So and that's my good friend. So, and I'll bring on other people too. Anyone interested that you enjoyed the show like that, when you come on, just know I'm going to start inviting more people to come on and give me their 2 cents. I may not have you quite as long. I did that with Bob because we know each other, but I'll have you on. We'll talk football. You can answer me your questions, and then I'll move on to others, and we'll have a lot of fun. Armando Pimentel, what I think about Khalil Mack coming back is that I think it would be smart, if for no other reason than we have the money. He's a Raider legend. He's going to go into the Hall of Fame, of course, as a Raider, unless we screw it up somehow, and I don't think we will. So I think he's going to come back. I think we're going to be all good, and I think he's going to make hell with I mean, if you pair him with Max Crosby, you take away all the things that hinder Khalil Mack. For example, has he lost a step? Doesn't matter if you've got Max on the other side, because Max has not. Not only has he not lost a step, he has probably the best step. First step in football. So he's going to force guys toward Khalil Mack, give him that second he needs for then Mack to go, Hulk smash, and then just throw the guy to the side. Or it's clobbering time if you like The Thing, Fantastic Four. No nerds in here? Really? Come on, man. All right, when you hear that beat, you know what time it is. It's time to say goodnight to your boy, the Bear and Raider Nation. All right, that's my show. Shout out to our armed forces, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, National Guard, Space Force, for all you do. The energy and love of this show is dedicated to your sacrifice, active and veteran. Much love. We appreciate you, even in these tough times. Stay strong. We love you, brother. We love you, ladies. If you enjoyed the show, please consider a subscription. We appreciate all stars donated, and we will see you tomorrow night. Raider Bear family page. Wednesdays, supporters only Wednesday. Supporters only Wednesday. Raider Bear family page. See you then. Peace. See you then. Double peace. Go for the triple.